Yo, what's going on YouTube, man? You guys already know who it is, man. It's your boy, Sports Guy TV, where we talk sports like religion. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man. Click that notification bell so you can get notified when I upload. Share the content, jump in the comments. Let's get it cracking. Hey, man, did you guys, while watching the fight or the sparring session, get a little sleepy watching the fight? I sure felt that way. Let's talk about it. So last night, man, Shakur Stevenson, 20 wins, no losses, no draws, 10 wins by way of knockout versus Edwin de Santos, 16-1 at the time with 14 wins by way of knockout. Was the main event last night. The co-main, by the way, Neverete and Consiaco, however you pronounce his last name, that was the main event. That was a beautiful, beautiful display between both of the fighters. I mean, Neverete put Consiaco on the canvas twice, only for them to have a draw. And I believe it was that way because he kept coming, kept fighting. He was landing great shots. Neverete looked a little bit exposed. He is a puncher machine and things of that nature, but he leaves himself open to a lot of punches. And, you know, like I was saying, when Shakur Stevenson fought Consiaco, he made it look very, very, very easy in that particular fight. Shout out to Neverete on another spectacular performance. Maybe they'll do it again. It's warranted a rematch, but I definitely would like to see Neverete against, the higher quality competition, so to speak. Now, the main event. It was a snooze type of fight. I mean, I was so disappointed in that fight, considering the circumstances of those two fighters speaking the way they were speaking leading up to the fight. Shakur Stevenson telling Edwin de Santos he gonna F him up. De Santos basically saying the same thing on the other side. One of my subscribers, shout out to my subscribers too, man. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all for taking the time out to watch the videos. I appreciate you liking up the video, sharing your comments, what you think about, whatever that's being discussed. And there was a lot of discussion when it came to a video that I posted about the fight and was saying, will this be Shakur Stevenson toughest fight? And one of my subscribers said that Edwin was a more intelligent, more skillful fighter than Shakur Stevenson. And during that video, I had basically said that Edwin better not go inside of the ring thinking that he can outbox Shakur Stevenson, that I believe he needs to make this fight tough. He needs to fight a fight because he's a fighter, though he is skilled. That was obviously on display last night. But with all that being said, Shakur Stevenson nor Edwin de Santos landed double-digit punches in either of the 12 rounds. Unanimous decision for Shakur Stevenson, but the performance was underachieved. It did not live up to the build-up between what the fighters were talking about, what the camps were talking about. It was a dud. I mean, there was clearly something going on with Shakur Stevenson, possibly the left hand. I think he threw, as far as copy box go, he threw around 20 to 21 punches with this left hand throughout the whole fight. Mind you, that's his power hand. He used the jab that he rarely, I don't say he rarely uses, but he used the jab way more than what he normally would use. He did not counter. And don't get me wrong, a lot of that has to do with getting caught by the power of Edwin de los Santos. But at the same time, the shots that Shakur did hit de los Santos with, he must have felt something, because if Shakur didn't have the power or any type of punching power behind his punches, then what was the issue with de los Santos cutting off the ring? If he was so skillful, as one of my subscribers said, cutting off the ring, getting in distance, and unloading. I seen a frustrated de los Santos inside of the ring. He were missing a lot of shots, a lot of power shots he was missing. And I believe he was at 13% when it came to punches landed. He landed 40. Yeah, you heard that right. 40 punches in a 12-round championship fight. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I think that Shakur Stevenson fought a lot off the back foot. He was actually getting out of there in cases. But to have this fight, the moment for Shakur Stevenson, in the locker room with three legends. Floyd Mayweather came through, Andre Ward, SOG came through, and of course, Terrence Bud Crawford. You know, a combined record of 142 wins and no defeats. To walk out with Andre Ward, SOG, and Terrence Bud Crawford, you think that that moment right there is a sign, because you're standing right next to greatness and you're considered one of the guys that can be great. And don't get me wrong, he's still a great fighter. He's definitely a great fighter. But what I've noticed, when he fights other fighters that can pack a punch and that is just as skillful as him when it comes to lateral movement or, you know, just the reflexes, Shakur Stevenson tends to be super defensive. Mind you, Floyd Money Mayweather Jr., I consider the best defensive fighter of all time, just above Pernell Whitaker, right? Or James Toney. When Floyd was defensive-minded in the ring, he still fought. And when he fought against, let's say, Marcos Maidana, who threw practically 100 punches per round, though Floyd was on the defense, laying up against the ropes, when those spots opened up for Floyd, Floyd made Maidana pay. When Floyd fights Cotto or Pacquiao or Diego Corrales or Arturo Gatti or whomever it may be that he fought in his illustrious career, or Andre Ward, the same thing, or Terrence Bud Crawford, the same thing, or hell, Errol Spence Jr. When a fighter of that caliber fights another fighter, when they see openings, they make you pay. Shakur Stevenson did not make Edwin de los Santos pay yesterday. Mind you, he did say something was going on. He told everyone, please don't congratulate him on this bout. It was one of his worst performances, if not the worst performance. Give him kudos for that, respect. It was a horrible performance. But this is one of the reasons right now that I can say that this is one of the reasons why Shakur Stevenson will and may not ever be a top pay-per-view fighter. because in the biggest stages, against the bigger punchers, or someone that's similar skill-wise to him, he doesn't unload. Last night, he fights Tank Davis. Tank Davis is more experienced and more skilled than Edwin de los Santos. Tank Davis calculates data just like Shakur Stevenson calculates data. Tank Davis is more explosive than Edwin de los Santos. Hands down. Last night, Tank Davis beats Shakur Stevenson. Now, if there was something going on with Shakur Stevenson's left hand, I take you back to Tank Davis when he fought Pitbull Cruz. He was clearly fighting with one hand. But Davis was skillful enough and still not afraid to encounter or engage, should I say, with Pitbull Cruz and defeated him with one hand while still being in somewhat of a attack mode. Shakur Stevenson was not in attack mode. Shakur Stevenson is a hell of a fighter. I've always said that I think he's one of the most skillful fighters there is. And he showed and displayed some skills when it comes to not being able to get hit, but he didn't deliver on the offensive side of things. He did not make De Los Santos pay when De Los Santos missed. There is a lot of questions when it comes to the division. Devin Haney had something to say on Twitter, and he said, I should have gave this bum 10% or offered this bum 10% based on his performance. And Tank Davis chimed in and had something to say about that, responding to Devin Haney. He told Devin Haney, that's what I'm offering you. So it's crazy, man. I don't know if this performance will intrigue other big-name fighters to hop in the ring with Shakur or not. Shakur says he needs to take some time off from the gym, that he's been training for this fight or just training in general since April, and it is November. That's a long time to be training prior to having an actual fight. But at the same time, you know your body. You're a professional. You've been doing this for a long time. You should know when your body needs the rest, the proper rest before you have an upcoming fight. If you're in negotiations, you know there's a possibility that you have a fight coming up. So that's your duty and that's your responsibility. I appreciate the fact that he made no excuses, but at the same time, I'm disappointed in the performance. What are your guys' thoughts and comments on this sleepy fight, man? It's your boy, Sports Guy TV, where we talk sports like religion, and I'm out. Until the next time.